Melinda pulls into a gas station and steps out of her car to enjoy a cigarette. She notices a man fueling his vehicle and walks over to him, warning him about the dangers of smoking near the fuel pumps. Despite the clearly visible no smoking sign, the man appears unconcerned about her caution. Melinda clarifies that her issue isn't with smoking itself, but with the location he chose to light up. The man snaps back, insisting he isn't reckless and that he's careful with his cigarette. It's just really dangerous to smoke near the pump. The entire station could go up in flames. I'm not an idiot, all right? You think I'd just stick it in the pump or something? I wasn't trying to be rude, Melinda responds. You don't need to yell at me. Taking his reaction to heart, Melinda walks away and heads inside the station. Inside, Sheila, the cashier, informs her that the restroom needs to be cleaned and the supplies restocked since Diane didn't take care of it. That's fine. I'll handle it. Melinda agrees and quickly changes into her uniform. While restocking, she approaches a man browsing snacks and enthusiastically recommends the pistachios, even offering to refund him if he doesn't like them. Her energy comes across as intrusive, and when she introduces herself, the man seems disinterested and grabs the pistachios, clearly wanting to avoid more interaction. Without her knowledge, he secretly dumps out the contents and walks off. Later, Melinda cleans the restroom with unusual dedication. During the task, she scrolls through candid photos of a police officer on her phone, clearly obsessed. A man walks in and is startled by her presence. Whoa, Jesus! Is this the ladies' room? No, you're in the right one. I was just cleaning, she replies, staring blankly at him with no sign of empathy. He explains that he can't use the restroom while she's in there. Meanwhile, Sheila is fixated on TikTok videos of stylish women dancing. She urges Melinda to join in and awkwardly twerks, secretly filming the moment. When Melinda realizes what's happening, she's mortified. Sheila, can you please delete that? What are you doing? What are you, Karen? No one knows who you are. Please, just delete it. Oh, come on, what's the big deal? Outside, a suspicious man is waiting near the gas station, watching closely for the right opportunity to act. An elderly gentleman enters the store and asks for Sheila at the counter. He introduces himself as Fred and reminds her they spoke 2 days ago. During that conversation, Sheila had mentioned her sore feet. As a thoughtful gesture, Fred brings her some bath salts. Melinda accepts the gift for Sheila, but Sheila declines, saying Fred visits every night and she wants to keep things strictly friendly. Disappointed, Fred heads for his car, but Melinda stops him. She tries to console him by saying the insult he received would have suited her just fine. Meanwhile, the man who had been waiting outside, Billy, gets out of his car and discreetly hides a revolver in the back of his waistband. Melinda greets him, and he asks if there are any other staff working tonight. He requests a pack of cigarettes just as a police car pulls in. The officer Melinda had been obsessing over steps out. How are you, Melinda? Everything all right tonight? Yeah, everything's fine, she responds. It's clear they know each other. Is that your new car out there? Billy watches the officer closely. Inside, Sheila notices him lingering and asks if he needs help. He says he's been browsing condoms for the past 5 minutes, so she offers to assist. Outside, Melinda asks Officer Lou if she can go for a quick spin in his new police vehicle. I can take my break right now. Can you take me for a ride? He declines, saying he's busy. What about just around the parking lot? She presses. She even jokes about getting arrested just to get a ride. What if I just took this, no? He chuckles and promises to take her for a drive another time, then heads inside for coffee. While Lou is at the register, Billy walks into the restroom. He makes a joke about the sexual enhancement pills on display. Looks like you've never had that issue. At that moment, Sheila spots Melinda secretly snapping more pictures of the officer and shouts, Melinda, what the hell are you doing? Startled, Melinda drops her phone. Sheila demands to see what she's been recording. Seeing Melinda nearly in tears, the officer lightens the mood by revealing his phone is also damaged. He gets a call and leaves immediately. Sheila then berates Melinda for taking secret photos of people, calling her a creep. She grabs the phone and finds an entire gallery of Lou's pictures. "Don't tell me you're some weird virgin." "Stop it, Sheila. What, are you saving yourself or something? I'm sure one of the truckers out there would bang you in the bathroom if you just asked." Melinda silently walks outside to smoke another cigarette. She is on the verge of tears. Upon returning, she unexpectedly comes face to face with Billy's revolver. He orders her to stand next to Sheila, assuring them that he doesn't intend to hurt anyone. Billy begins explaining his desperate need for money, revealing that people are after him and threatening his life. Sheila, growing irritated by his lengthy explanation, urges him to hurry up with the robbery. He demands all the money from both the register and the safe room. Sheila tells him only managers have access to the safe and that the register contains less than $100 since most customers use cards. She questions whether the gun is even real. This provokes Billy, who fires a shot out of frustration. "Melinda, could you please tell your friend here to stop being so difficult?" "She's not my friend." "Sheila, stop being so difficult." Melinda responds quietly. Melinda softly asks if the money will be enough for Billy to settle his debts with the bikers. She decides to help him get the money from the safe. "There's more money in the safe. I can get it for you. I'll go get it." "How much do you need?" "All of it." "Okay." While she's retrieving the money, two customers enter the store. Billy instructs Sheila to remain calm and not cause a scene. Melinda glances at her reflection and unbuttons her shirt slightly to distract Billy. The tension grows as she awkwardly tries to give the customer change. Billy watches nervously from behind a display shelf. The customer asks for directions, and Sheila writes them on a piece of paper, secretly including a message to call 911. As she tries to pass the note, Melinda steps in, crumples it, and tells the customers to leave. Once they finally exit, Billy walks to the counter and asks for the bag of money. Melinda hesitates, then asks where he plans to go. She tells him she wants to come with him. "Can I go with you?" "What? Can you take me with you, please? Are you out of your mind? Are you serious?" "Yes." Billy is stunned, struggling to believe what he's hearing. He refuses to take her, and they argue about the money. Melinda refuses to hand over the bag, baffled by his reluctance to let her join him. "I just got you the money from the safe. You wouldn't have it without me." Her frustration is obvious. In a burst of aggression, he grabs the backpack from her and physically confronts her. Sheila then jumps in, calling him a coward for threatening two women with a gun. "My boyfriend isn't here right now." "Oh, really? Am I supposed to care?" "Yeah, he's got guns too, and definitely a bigger dick than you. Take your money and get the hell out of here like a little bitch." Billy, losing control, pulls Sheila from behind the counter. He tells Melinda to lock the door and give him her phone. As they retreat to the back room, Melinda walks toward the front. With a heavy heart, she buttons her shirt. Without a second thought, she grabs a cup of hot coffee and pours it over her hand. Then she storms into the back room and throws the scalding liquid into Billy's face. In one swift motion, she knocks him out with a fire extinguisher. As he falls, his gun goes off and tragically, Sheila is shot. When Billy comes to, he sees that Melinda has wrapped Sheila's body in a tarp and cleaned up. He insists he didn't mean to kill anyone. But when he tries to move, he realizes he's tied to a chair. Melinda sits across from him, silent. She asks why he didn't take her with him. Billy tries to explain that the whole situation is just too strange. Melinda feels betrayed that he chose to be with Sheila after all she did to help him. Unsure what to do next, she hasn't contacted the authorities. He insists they're in this together and tries to convince her to untie him. Billy admits he didn't take her seriously at first. He says he understands how exhausting her job must be and offers to take her along now. But Melinda seems confused by his disdain for her work at the gas station. To her, it's like a museum full of interesting people. She genuinely enjoys being there. She then delivers an impassioned speech about how gas stations are underappreciated hubs of human interaction. Billy, groaning in pain, asks for some painkillers. Melinda walks to the front aisle to grab some. Meanwhile, an irate customer tries to force his way into the store. Growing agitated, Melinda grabs sex-enhancing pills and condoms from the counter instead of painkillers. Back in the room, she slips him the enhancement pills, unzips his pants, and accuses him of lying about wanting to take her with him. In a disturbing turn, she blindfolds him and attempts to assault him. However, Billy manages to free himself and accidentally knocks himself out by slamming into a shelf. Melinda, dazed, walks out of the store with the cash. She opens the door to the outside world. A customer grumbles about the lack of coffee. Without him noticing, she briefly points a gun to her own head, but lowers it again. Overwhelmed, she bursts into tears and tells the man to leave her alone. She dials 911, but at that moment, Perry, Sheila's boyfriend, enters. He asks where Sheila is, and Melinda replies that she already left. When he tries to call Sheila's phone, they both hear it buzzing on the floor. His suspicion grows. He knows Sheila would never go anywhere without her phone. Melinda lies, saying Sheila went off with some guy to a motel. Surprisingly, he believes her lie and heads off to the nearest motel. In a frantic attempt to cover her tracks, she rushes outside to grab a shovel. But just then, a motorcycle gang pulls up to the gas station. They begin questioning her about the events of the night, specifically asking about Billy. Melinda, with a provocative tone, asks if they engage in shady activities like disposing of bodies. The gang insists on entering the store. In response, she pulls a gun on them, and they immediately draw their own weapons. Their leader, however, orders them to lower their guns, pointing out the security cameras around the premises. Realizing her actions have likely been recorded, Melinda feels a surge of panic. The gang leader warns her that they'll be searching for their missing friend and that they will definitely return if he isn't found. After they leave, she goes back inside and tries to tamper with the lock to delete the surveillance footage. When that fails, she steps outside for a cigarette. That moment sparks a sinister idea: to burn down the entire place. She fills 2 canisters with gasoline and carries them back to the counter. Just as she begins to prepare the area for ignition, Officer Lou walks in with his gun drawn, aimed directly at her. He asks whether she's noticed anyone acting suspiciously and reveals that Billy's car, the one he's been searching for, was found abandoned nearby, with the keys still in the ignition, leading him to suspect the driver is close. He mentions he wants to review the footage. Melinda tells him that only Diane has access to the security system, prompting him to call her. While he's distracted on the phone, Melinda quietly slips a revolver into her pocket. She then claims that she did, in fact, see someone suspicious, a man who left for the motel in a green Jeep. Before leaving, Officer Lou insists on doing a quick sweep of the store. Melinda, nearly on the verge of tears, watches as he checks each room in the back. In a moment of desperation, she points the gun at him, ready to shoot, but the officer finishes his search without discovering anything. Shocked, she quickly hides the weapon. He hands her his number before heading to the motel to investigate. Checking the back room herself, Melinda finds it empty, with the cable ties she had used to restrain Billy now lying loosely on the floor. Intent on following through with her plan to burn down the station, she suddenly hears strange noises coming from the back. Then the lights go out. The front entrance is blocked due to a malfunctioning photocell door, leaving her trapped. Billy bursts back into the store, yelling at her. She warns him about the gasoline all over the floor and threatens to set the place ablaze. Perry arrives at that moment, banging on the front door to get in. Melinda tries to escape through the back, but Billy is already there, blocking the exit with a dumpster. He then heads to the front and tells Perry that Melinda has lost her mind, that she killed Sheila and even tried to assault him. As Perry presses Melinda for answers, Billy suddenly attacks him from behind and kills him. He then takes Perry's green Jeep. Melinda calls Officer Lou for help, but before he can arrive, Billy crashes a van through the front of the store. She attempts to express regret to Billy, but he is blinded by revenge and pulls the trigger. However, the gun, previously dropped in gasoline, ignites upon firing. He throws the weapon aside, inadvertently setting the fuel-covered floor on fire. Melinda grabs a fire extinguisher and puts out the flames on her burning pants. Despite her injured legs, she runs outside. Officer Liu pulls up at the scene just in time. He helps her into his vehicle, finally fulfilling her earlier wish to ride in his car. The film serves as a tense and gripping descent into moral ambiguity, desperation, and the consequences of deceit. At its core, it explores the psychological unraveling of Melinda, a woman who, when confronted with a dangerous and unpredictable situation, consistently chooses manipulation and violence over truth and accountability. Her character transformation, from a seemingly composed and resourceful individual into a frantic and reckless arsonist, highlights the destructive nature of guilt, fear, and survival instinct. One of the film's most powerful elements is how it builds tension through confined spaces and looming threats, both internal and external. The gas station, with its security cameras and claustrophobic layout, becomes a stage for escalating paranoia. The arrival of the biker gang and the persistent presence of Officer Liu add layers of danger, forcing Melinda to improvise her lies at every turn. The viewer is drawn into her panic, even as her actions become increasingly indefensible. Billy's reappearance in the climax disrupts any illusion Melinda might have had about controlling the situation. He serves as a dark mirror to her own descent, a character wronged, yet equally transformed by violence and the hunger for revenge. His final act of pulling the trigger, leading to the accidental ignition of the gasoline-soaked floor, becomes symbolic, a spark igniting the inevitable fallout of unchecked deception and chaos. Officer Liu plays the role of moral anchor, a steady figure in a narrative swirling with deceit. His calm demeanor and insistence on procedure contrast sharply with Melinda's impulsivity. In a way, his presence underscores how law, order, and rationality can offer redemption, but only if characters are willing to embrace them. Melinda's final escape into his car is symbolic. Despite the literal burns she carries, there's a faint suggestion of atonement or at least survival. From a thematic standpoint, the film touches on the fragility of truth, the unpredictability of human behavior under pressure, and the moral gray areas people occupy when faced with fear and consequence. The setting, plot developments, and character arcs converge to create a dark, suspenseful narrative that doesn't offer easy answers or redemption, but instead leaves the viewer reflecting on the choices we make when our backs are against the wall. In conclusion, the film is a harrowing ride through manipulation, panic, and the human instinct to survive, no matter the cost. It's a story where every decision has weight, and every lie brings the characters closer to an irreversible tipping point. By the end, what remains is not just the smoldering aftermath of a gas station in flames, but the scorched remnants of trust, morality, and human connection.